Laura, since the start of the year, over 600 social leaders and 136 former combatants have been murdered in Colombia. Why aren't we seeing peace in this post-accord period?
Well, this is without doubt a systematic increase of violence against leaders and ex-members of FARC-EP, which is again in the public debate due to the assassination of the two ex-FARC members 2 days ago, as you were saying before. Now, if we refer to the killings of the former FARC members, it is not possible to have a single answer to this phenomenon. However, there are several hypotheses. First, it has to do with the refusal of these people to be part of new non-state armed actors or part of those that already existed in the regions where they formerly had some kind of armed control, which doesn't mean per se that they are being killed for returning to illegality, as different postures want to show. And second, it is related to particular vengeance situations or due to their former participation in hostilities. But despite this uncertainty, what is certain is that behind these killings, we have different and multiple actors, such as paramilitary, state forces, narco-traffickers, guerrillas, ELN, EPL, among others. And also a factor that increases the risks for former FARC members is the failure to comply with the agreement as such, with the measures in regard with social and economic reincorporation. Because due to these delays, many people disperse from the collective process of reincorporation, and they go to areas where they're exposed to the presence of different armed actors controlling those and disputing those areas. And there is also a third thing, and it is the responsibility that we all have to assume, and is the use of pejorative terms when we are referring to these people, because the use of pejorative languages by political leaders and in our daily basis become actually justifications that trigger violence against this population. So this becomes a huge risk for the peace-building process in Colombia.
Laura, from London, President Duque confirmed that security forces will soon resume the aerial fumigation of COCA and possibly using a harmful banned substance. What can you tell us about this?
This is an enormous setback because Colombia started the most ambitious program of COCA substitution under the peace agreement in order to apply the learned lessons from past failures. In fact, communities said yes to the voluntary eradication. But now, in order for COCA farmers to move to legal economies, they need tertiary roads, they need commercialization channels of goods, they need access to credit and help to get the products actually out of their isolated lands, among other measures that actually aim to transform the reality of Colombians in rural areas. So such realities is that the coca production has been and continues to be a survival mechanism. And so the peace process and the changes it entails imply the change of the lifestyle of hundreds of thousands of Colombians. So the hardening of the government's position threatens to reverse the success achieved and once again affect the trust created and the expectations of the communities. But apart from these, returning to glyphosate is not only a political decision, actually. It depends on the compliance of the requirements imposed by the Constitutional Court in 2017. So although the government is asking the Constitutional Court to make the requirements more flexible, if the court does not change these requirements, the government would have to certify through scientific research that the fumigation does not involve a risk to health nor to the environment, which is almost an impossible mission.
Laura, lastly, in 2018, we saw what looked like progress in the talks between the government and the ELN. What is the status of those talks?
Well, those dialogues have been stale since last January, after the car bomb attack at the police academy, as you all know. So currently, the executive does not negate the possibility of the reactivation of negotiation, while it is also demanding that ELN must renounce to all criminal actions. But on the other hand, we also have civil society insisting to reopen dialogues. In fact, yesterday, Senator Ivan Cepeda filed a case against President Duque in defense of the right to peace, seeking to shield those partial agreements that we actually reached with the ELN during those 17 months of negotiations. However, it is also important and concerning in regard with this subject to mention that one of the incentives for ELN members to seize the actions is to see how the government actually complies with the agreement with FARC-EP and its compromise with an economic and social recuperation of its members. We're talking about, it's kind of like a test. If it works with FARC, it will perhaps work with ELN. So re-incorporation also acquires a notion of incentive for further peace talks or other recuperation process of other members of other guerrillas.
Laura, we thank you so much for your time for Telesur English.